Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is all in the charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to give a thumbs up, drop me a comment, click the bell icon to know when I go live for moments like this. When I try to give a heads up on Twitter, I give a heads up. Gave a heads up yesterday on the live stream, but there are times where the streaming time might be different during the day. Had some technical difficulties tuning in here. Had a 4-second video go out there, a live stream on Chartmania, which was a live stream I did back in 2021. That was interesting, trying to get started here. So you can give me a follow here on Twitter. You can give me a follow, obviously, on YouTube, even Instagram and TradingView. One word. It is why it's Crypto Bull God. No underscores, nothing like that. I hope everybody is enjoying their Friday. We're getting some decent price action in the markets today that we're going to talk about, especially on the stock market if it's held up. The goal, I want to be clear about this. The goal is not retirement. The goal is financial independence. Why do I say that? Financial independence implies that you have a level of finances that are self-sustaining for your lifetime. And as a life insurance actuary, I can appreciate mortality rates and life expectancy. So the idea behind financial independence is you have enough finances to sustain you for your life expectancy. Okay, what does that enable you to do? Well, maybe you want to continue working full-time in your career. Maybe you want to work part-time. Maybe you want to completely redefine who you are as an individual. But the key point is to stay busy, to stay active, to stick with your passions, and to still be very active in life. I don't know that I'm ever going to truly believe in the word retirement. Retirement to me, I imagine, is some scenario where you're out golfing every day and you're on an island and you're sipping margaritas every day, which, as beautiful as that sounds, I think that's the quickest way to a short death, actually. The reason is human beings were meant to contribute to society, to contribute to the benefits of one another, to help other people and individuals out, whether it's through a technical analysis channel or whatever the case is, whether you're teaching or whether you're volunteering your time at shelters, whatever the case is, people were meant to be active and to help other individuals, right? We weren't meant to be alone by ourselves, laying out on a beach every day, okay? So as thrilling as that sounds for a couple weeks, I could do that for a couple weeks, not sustainable for the long term and not something that I would encourage anyone to ever seriously consider. But the goal here, at least for me, I've shared a couple times, I haven't really gone into details, but it's really financial independence. And I've also stressed to people, look, the quickest way that you can accumulate financial independence is to live beneath your means. Maybe it wouldn't surprise you, but I am shocked as a very financially, not just sophisticated individual, but a financially disciplined individual. It amazes me how many people put themselves into credit card debt, massive amounts of credit card debt in general. Especially I live in South Florida, so people spend beyond their means and then they put themselves in a hole, right? One of the quickest ways to achieve financial independence is actually by living beneath your means, okay? Maybe it means wearing a Casio watch instead of an Apple smartwatch. Maybe it means driving the same car for 10 or 15 years and not leasing out a car every 3 to 5 years or buying a new car every 5 years. I love my cousin very much. He's like a brother to me. But I think of my cousin. My cousin is one who, we have a lot of similarities, my cousin and I. A lot of similarities. In fact, if you put us in the same room, you'd be like, oh my God, you guys like talk similar, you sound similar. Like very true, very true. And we've always gotten along so well. And, especially in my 20s and when I was a teenager, life situations were different and we lived closer to one another. We spent quite a bit of time together. But I would say one difference between my cousin and I poke fun at him when I have an opportunity. He knows I mean it in good gist, just in good humor, is he has to have the latest, newest thing, right? He has to get the latest iPhone. He has to have last time I spoke with him, he had I think there's a car program out there where you pay, it's like an astronomical amount per month, but you can switch out and have different cars, fancy cars, right? So he likes to do those extravagant things, and that's fine. If that works well for him, I'm not here to try to persuade him to do anything differently. And he also has a very good job and does quite well for himself. So more power to him for doing that. More power to me for kind of living the way I live. But I would encourage you guys to seriously consider what would it take to become financially independent, and kind of interjoined with that question as you're thinking about that, what can I do about my life circumstance to get me there quicker, right? There's a balance, in my opinion, between living in the moment and enjoying life and also planning for the future. I would say that I've definitely in life had a tendency to like always be planning for the future, and I've tried to more and more in recent years tried to recognize that I also need to appreciate today, because tomorrow is not guaranteed, right? And that's, the older you get, you realize that you have people who unexpectedly might pass away. You see your family, the older they get, maybe you have grandparents, maybe an aunt and uncle who passes away. And so it really does, the older you get, cause you to pause and think, okay, I've been financially disciplined, I've been working hard on my life, I have all these life goals, but am I also enjoying today and living in the moment? So it's a balance between both. So I'm starting out the live stream today with a little all over the place with financial independence and planning, but we are going to get into the charts. The first thing I actually wanted to start off with is the stock market. So I will tell you, and I didn't speak to this yesterday, but it looks like we're up about a full percentage point today at 41.65. One of the things I was anticipating for the stock market today was sort of a relatively flat day. I was expecting the body, I was just taking a guess, okay, really at the end of the day. But I was expecting now we're not going to close out today until when does the bell close? Is it like 10:04 or 4 o'clock on the nose? I forget. Shows you how inactive I am on monitoring stops. Encash! Welcome in, my friend. You better be buying it all. I'm right there with you. I'm balls to the wall. It's good. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in the live stream in a while. It's good to see you. I was expecting today just kind of a relatively flat day, have the body of this thing kind of close relatively neutral. Again, I've pointed out the most important thing on this chart. You want to make sure that we're getting these candle body closes on the weekly on the S&P above the 21 exponential moving average. I've spoken to the significance of this in the past. The other thing I've pointed out, again, is this descending resistance. You can kind of draw it a couple different ways. The point is we've broken out from it no matter how you draw it, and we've back tested it successfully to formulate support, okay? So unless if something significantly changes within the day, I would expect to close relatively in line with where we're at, but above the descending resistance, okay? But the other thing to point out on this chart, I know you've been busy. We've been chatting about that, and you've probably sent me a DM or two that I've been piss poor in getting back to you because I've had a lot going on too, and I apologize, and I promise to get back to you by this weekend. By the way, for those who are not following Encash Official, make sure to give him a follow on Twitter. I did see that you're planning to rebrand in some sort of way, so I'm very curious to see what you're going to be doing. I think it's really good to kind of self-evaluate your business model and kind of tweak things every now and then if it makes sense. So very curious to see what you got going on there. The other thing to point out on this S&P weekly chart, I'm going to be very curious to see if the body looks similar, very similar to this. Guys, do you know what this formation is? Well, it's bullish, I can tell you that. It's a hammer stick candle, a bullish hammer. It's a green hammer stick candle. Now, what does that actually mean? Well, what it means is it typically signals a trend reversal to the upside. And you know I'm targeting 43.25. I've been talking about 43.25 on this channel for months, okay? So if this candlestick prints in the fashion that it is right now, it's increasing, okay? It's not a certainty. There's no certainties in charting. I've said it over and over again. But it's increasing the likelihood that there's going to be a further rally in the markets to the upside, and it is further increasing the likelihood that we're going to push up towards 43.25, all right? So, and again, even if you don't know the name of the candlestick, Okay, that's not important. The important thing is you're able to identify the candlestick and it tells you a story. In this case, we opened right around here at 41.30, okay? We came all the way down here to 40.50. There was seller exhaustion. All the buyers ate up the price and it pushed it all the way back up above where we even opened. And we're near 4,200. Okay, so that's the story within the candlestick. That's the important thing you need to be able to identify when reading a chart. I don't need to know this is called a hammer stick candle. But as long as I can properly interpret what a candlestick is telling me, I know what it signifies in terms of trend direction, trend reversal, stabilization of price, etc. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones. I'm going to get to your comments, by the way. Plenty of time for Q&A today. Just going to be covering a couple quick charts, hitting on things to look for this weekend and what we'll be hitting on Monday, which will be a significant day because we're going to get the monthly close in April, which we're going to take a look at. April right now is setting up for a bullish close on Bitcoin, and I will explain why. Now, what is going on in the Dow Jones? Well, I spoke to this chart yesterday, and you can see there's an area of resistance here that I identified that we're closing above at around like 33,800. We're going to call it, just round up and not get too cute. I really want to get above this swing high right here, okay? This lower high ultimately, okay? I want to get above this level, which I spoke to yesterday. We're just going to call it 34,700, right? So really what you want to watch for on the Dow, again, I spoke to this yesterday. When do we get Dow closes above 34,700? And when on the S&P do we start to get weekly closes above 43.25? Now, once I told you yesterday, once we get an S&P close, a weekly close, I'm not talking about a price wick because price wicks are an expression of what? Volatility. Once we get a weekly close above 43.25, you know, don't pop the champagne bottles. Have a little shot at tequila, right? A little mini celebration. And the reason I say that is we're taking out this lower high. It's increasing the probability that we're going to take out this next lower high around 4,600. And then it further, once we do that, increases the likelihood we're going to take out the all-time high and do what I've stated the stock market will do, in my opinion, this year, which is create a new all-time high, which spits in the face of herd media mentality that is being signaled to everyone. And I've been saying this since mid to late last year, okay? So just, I think around October, August is when I really started kind of speaking out about this stuff, but I'd have to go back and double check what specific time period, but around there. Let's see what questions we got here. Love the shirt. Yeah, for those that tune in very frequently, by the way, hit the thumbs up for support. For those that tune in frequently, someone that I know was busting on me saying that they appreciated my my YouTube channel uniform because I typically show up in a black t-shirt. Guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I am here by myself. I have nobody to entertain. I could care less. I'm here to give you good content, and I'm chilling, wearing the same pretty much. And that's another thing about me. I'm a pretty basic person. So, if you saw me here just chilling in my place by myself, same type of t-shirts, same type of shorts every day, I could care less. But I am going out later this evening, which is why after work, which is why I'm dressed the way I'm dressed. By the way, when you get to the charts, peep at the Casper 4-hour. Oh, we shall take a look at Cash. In fact, Casper is on my little old school list here to put out a TA video on when it makes sense. Got a lot of projects and chart ideas here. I just actually have to find the time to do those things. So let's see. We touched on S&P. We touched on the Dow. You know what I wanted to hit on next? No significant develops on the 12-hour I want to talk about there. Don't need to talk about that chart. What I do, we just hit on all that stuff yesterday. If you're not familiar with the Williams alligator on Bitcoin as well as the ADXDI indicator on Bitcoin, check out the live stream from yesterday. I don't want to regurgitate the same thing. Now, this is the Bitcoin monthly. Why am I saying that it is holding significant, I'm stuttering over my words. Why am I saying that at the moment if we closed around the current price level that we're at for the month of April that it would be significant? Why do I believe that? Let me get the right chart up because then that would help to formulate that thought. think this is it. Now, on the weekly, here's one of the things you have to keep in mind, okay? Depending upon what time frame that you chart said asset on, you can derive different areas of price confluence, right? Areas of resistance, areas of support. The more granular we get on a lower time frame, like a 4 hour, in this case for Casper that Encash is mentioning, you can come up with a lot more of a granular level in terms of areas of support and resistance versus coming to a weekly or monthly. It's a very high time frame. And for everyone here who is newer to charting or hasn't done charting in a lot, I suggest focusing on higher time frames, because the higher time frame will level set your mindset in terms of your investment thesis and kind of the situation with the chart, if it's bullish or bearish. It also consolidates price action, and it makes it a lot easier to read the charts. The only time you really come into an issue where you're looking at a weekly or monthly chart on an asset is when there's not a lot of price data. For some of these newer projects, Casper is actually a great example. Casper, I mean, we can take a look at the chart, but I'm going to take an educated guess that Casper, it's not really too helpful to look at a monthly chart on Casper. It hasn't been around for a long time. We could look at a weekly, go down to a weekly maybe, but I would doubt a monthly would be helpful, right? Now, in this case, the reason that I'm signaling to you that we're in a very favorable position for Bitcoin is because when I go down to the weekly level here, okay, focus in, let's delete this for the moment, focus in on this red zone. I have spoken to this red zone of resistance on Bitcoin for a while now. And I said between 28,800 and roughly 32,000, that's the area that's really going to cause us some problems. And so it's not surprising when we look at a weekly that we closed up in here, which was bullish, but then we had a swift rejection and we came down here, right? Now, when we had that swift rejection, what I stated to you is it increased the likelihood, no certainties, it increased the likelihood that because we closed this weekly candle below 2880, okay, it would increase the probability we'd chop around here for a little bit before we started to push back up in this area and attempt to break through or form it as an area of support, okay? Right now, this weekly candlestick, okay, the close of which will coincide with the monthly candlestick is above 28,800. And so what I'm saying to you is, if by Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Bitcoin's price is at or above 28,800, very bullish sign, okay? Very bullish sign. Now, it doesn't mean that if we close at or above 28,800, that by next week we're going to be at 35,000. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we've taken a step in the right direction as a bull to help close above a key area of resistance and get back up into this zone here, okay? Back up into this red zone of resistance to further increase the likelihood we're going to continue pushing up and try to smash through 32,000. So look for Sunday for Bitcoin to close at or above 28,800. That was the significant dollar value that I wanted to point out to you. Right now we're sitting at 29,200. The last thing, welcome in Crypto Ryan. Good to see you as well. Crypto Ryan has a great channel as well. Check him out. I'm following him on Twitter. You can see him on my follow list. Crypto Ryan, I'm following him on Twitter. He's also on YouTube. He does a lot of hard work, just like Encash, to put out value-added content, technical analysis. He gets very detailed and does a good job explaining things. Make sure to check him out. The other last thing I wanted to point out here before I get to your questions, I see there's a few questions here which we'll have definitive time to get to here. Got to close out the live stream at a specified time because I am on a break at work right now, full disclosure, so I can't be on here endlessly. But the other thing that I wanted to point out, the shape of the candlestick. This is very important. We just talked about this, right? I just talked about this on the S&P and why this formation, this hammer candlestick, is very bullish, right? The other thing to keep in mind, depending how we close the month out, if the thicker, think of it this way, the thicker the green body is on the monthly candlestick, you can see how thick it is right now. That's what she said. You can see how thick the green body is. The thicker that gets, the more bullish the close is for us, okay? This candlestick right here for the month of February, this is an indecision candlestick. Basically, you have price wicking up here, down here, and a close right where we opened. It's indecisive. It doesn't want to know, it doesn't know what it wants to do. I'm familiar with that with my last relationship. We won't go there. But this candlestick doesn't know what it wants to do, okay? Does it want to go up or down? Well, we ended up printing a massively green candlestick in the month of March, right? The thicker the green body, the more likelihood there is, although this is sort of an indecisive candlestick because we have wicks in both directions, the larger the body is that's green, the increased probability there is for ultimately May to push up. Okay, now I know people say sell in May, go away. If you want to believe in that narrative and close your eyes and sell your assets in May, go for it. But I'm certainly not selling shit in May. Never financial advice, but I'm not planning on selling shit in May. That's not to say, depending how we close out the month of April, that we can't see volatility and come down, back down here and test around 25. Everyone's eyeing 25,000, which is why I believe it's not going to happen. It doesn't mean we can't come down here to 25,000 or 26 or 27,000. That's not what I'm saying. But ultimately, May has a higher probability of being a green candlestick to the upside the thicker the body is, the green body is for the month of April. So keep an eye on that. Let's get to questions. I see several questions coming in, which is great. I love the interaction. It makes it more fun when everybody is engaged and giving me chart questions. So I think the first question, and I'll continue to plug along here. I'm an OG. Ooh, I'll take that in cash, you know. I'm a humble individual, but I'll take the OG comment. I have been here for a while. All right, so if you were on my live stream, I think at the beginning of the week or last week, you'll understand why I had this drawn in here, but you'll have to go back. I don't want to re-explain this, but what was indicated to me on Casper is let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. Specifically, that was the ask, so let's take a look at it. All right, 4-hour chart, let's take a look at price action first. We have, first thing, if you've been here for a while, this isn't surprising what I'm drawing out here. We have a descending area of resistance on Casper 4-hour. You can see the resistance here. Okay, we need to break above that. The other thing I need to do, since we're on a 4-hour here, green is support, red is resistance. We're above this area of price confluence at 4.8 cents. Looks like we have an area of resistance right around 5.6 cents. Now keep in mind, okay, keep in mind, I did not design this chart for a 4-hour view. I've typically looked at Casper on a 3-day view and a weekly. So never mind the fact that 5.6 cents is cutting into some of these candle bodies. This was drawn on a higher time frame, okay? And actually, maybe the easiest thing to do, quite frankly, let's pull up a blank chart and let's look at this thing fresh, because I think that would be the easiest thing to do. It's on a different time frame. Why do I have XRP here on a blank chart? That's weird. What's the right exchange to look at? What exchange do I have this thing on? Looks like CoinX, and this is, what the hell is this on? Perfect. All right, so let's take a look at Casper on the 4-hour. Let's see what we got going on here. First thing I like to see, actually, let's take a look at the price indicators. That's fine. First thing I like to see is we have ascending. Now, this is not bullish divergence, okay? Bullish divergence would be if the RSI was increasing in value and price was decreasing in value. You can clearly see that price is increasing and the RSI is increasing as well, okay? So good to see, though. The RSI is building momentum. That's telling me as the price has been steadily consolidating and increasing in value, strength is building within the price. That's what it's telling me. The other thing, let's take a look at. We got a cross down on the MACD, which is not good, okay? So you want to keep an eye on the MACD. Stochastic RSI is below 20, and it's negative. So we need this thing to cross up above the trigger line at 20, and we need the blue to get above orange. Okay, we want a positive cross and get above 20. So not much going on with the price indicators, really. let's take a look at the price action. Now, 4 hour is typically something I don't look at unless I'm in a position, I've established a position, or I'm looking to establish a position. I'm utilizing a higher time frame to tell me when to get in, and I want to ascertain more about the current price action to have conviction if there's a higher likelihood of it going up or down. Sometimes when you go in those lower time frames, it can be a leading indicator based on what you're looking at that price might go up or down, okay? Because again, I've stated on this channel, bullish momentum, as long as it is sustained, goes from the lower time frames and it bleeds into the higher time frames, right? So there's often many things that you won't see on a one-day chart. You might see it on a 2 hour, 4 hour chart, all right? Now, Ncash asked me to look at this. So let's see what he is looking at. What I am looking at is descending resistance. Descending resistance. I would also draw this sort of ascending support. Are you pointing me out to a pennant formation here? Because that's sort of, I see stair steps. Now, the funny thing is, if you zoom in on a 12 hour, you sort of do have a view where, I'm not sure if you're looking at this or not. Let's turn on the volume. Yeah, so we do have this rise in price, and we sort of have a pennant formation. One could say this is a bull flag or a bull pennant. Of course, the volume tops up here, which is typically what you like to see. You can see the volume bars up here, and the volume is now sort of teetering off, which typically happens within a consolidation area. So I can certainly see the argument for that. The other thing that's nice to see, and I actually like the view on the 12-hour Ncash over the 4 hour. The other thing I like to see is the bottom line is whether or not this pennant plays out or not. What do I always say on this channel? You want stair steps, right? Stair steps up are the basic building blocks of a bullish narrative, right? So to me, it looks possible there is a bull pennant in play, but furthermore, what I'm more bullish on if the pennant doesn't play out or not is there's certainly some price consolidation in here. Now, what are some areas of support and resistance I want to see hold, okay? Well, first off, we can identify, and again, because I've consolidated this from a 4 hour into a 12 hour, it's easier to identify areas of key price confluence, okay? There's an area of support right around 5.2 cents. It looks like, this is actually pretty easy to identify. Looks like there's another area of support. I would draw it, again, I try not to get too cute here, but 5. So really, it would be nice to see Casper maintain a price between 5 and 5.2 cents. Now, these are volatile assets. This thing could certainly wick down, okay? You could get a wick down all the way down here towards, you know, your 4.9 or your 4.8. But ultimately, candle body closes, I'd really like them to maintain themselves above the 5 cent area is really kind of what I'm pointing out here, okay? Yeah, and you can see even when we draw this, we could definitely see some consolidation down here. There's certainly another area of price confluence right around 4.9 cents. Now, where are we going to have problems breaking out from on Casper? Definite clear area of, you could draw a couple areas of resistance in here. Again, red is resistance. Green is support. I'm looking for areas of resistance up here around 5.7 to 6 cents. Right? So best guess, you know, the overall market is ultimately going to drive the direction of an asset like this. But with that being said, based on how we're currently kind of set up for May, probably a little bit of chippy chop in here until we ultimately start testing back up above 6 cents and going significantly higher. So one to definitely keep an eye on, one that I own. I've stated I definitely began accumulating down here in this area. I believe it was down here in September. Yeah, the 2.6 cent area, 2.8 cent area. And Nick was, he was the main person on my live stream that kept urging me to take a look at Casper. So I do have a little stack of Casper. Let's see what else we got. I hope you found that helpful, by the way, Nick. What else we got going on here? What's up, Alex? Crypto Crusaders. So Nick's got the Crypto Crusaders. Here we got the Crypto Maniacs. All right, that's how the crypto bull god rolls. Crypto Maniacs. gotta turn down the AC. It's a little too warm in here. Whew. Oh, God. I heard a $500,000 Moon Carl pattern is printing on Bitcoin. Guys, something to be aware of to that point. Again, it's going to happen quick. I've been here long enough to know this. If I'm correct, and that is an if, because I could absolutely be wrong like any technical analysis has and will be, continue to be. If I'm correct in my assertion that Bitcoin really is going to get up to this 120, 110, 130 level this year, okay, and create new all-time highs, once we start pushing up to this area, the 70,000, 65,000, 70, right in there, and we start breaking out, I'm telling you right now, I've been here long enough. You will see the Bitcoin 1,500,000 super cycle, 300,000, 250,000. Do your own due diligence and decide what's best for you. But I'm telling you, the narratives in this market change quickly, and the smart money doesn't buy into that narrative. Okay, never financial advice on this channel. And there is a probability for everything. There's a probability that Bitcoin does go to $1 million. There's a probability that Bitcoin goes to $0. But the probability of Bitcoin going to zero and the probability of Bitcoin going to $1 million this year are very, 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 very small. So fucking small. So just keep that in mind. Keep common sense at the core of what at your evaluation of the market. Don't lose sight of that. What else we got going on? I have a question on Gala. It's been a little bit since I looked at Gala. They're going to be airdropping a brand new token to replace the existing token. Right? Saw a little bit about that. What do we got for Gala? Okay, this is a weekly. Resistance, resistance. Broke out from resistance. This is no longer valid. This was drawn a while ago. You can see right now, this is Heikin-Ashi. Let's get back to regular candlesticks. I probably did that because of, I don't even know why the hell I did that. Anyway, one of the things that I point out on this channel, if you've been here for a while or you're not new, welcome, or if you are new, welcome in. Glad to have you be a part of the Crypto Maniac squad. Make sure to hit the thumbs up. One of the things routinely that we see in charts, I like to not just tell you what I'm seeing in the charts, but I also like to try to educate my audience. When you have an area of descending resistance like this, commonly what happens is if you're waiting for confirmation, you can wait for the break, right? You see how on this weekly candle we broke all the way up here, and in fact we opened here and we went back down to this area. What did we do? Okay, we back tested this prior area of resistance, descending resistance, okay? Descending resistance. We back tested it and formulated it as support. So this is providing you an entry to get back in. You don't want to buy into this green candlestick. You don't want to chase the trend. That's what novice people do. That's what novice traders do. That's what novice investors do. Novice investors are buying up here. Seasoned veterans wait for the pullback, right? And if they don't get it, they don't get it. But the more times than not, if you chase a trend, you're going to regret it, okay? If you had bought up in this area, you are down over 20%. If you bought in this area, you're still up 20%, okay? So being up or down 20%, that's a huge swing, right? So just keep that in mind. So what am I looking at on this chart? Well, I mean, I think it's kind of obvious, actually. We've broken out, draw it like that. We've broken out of this descending resistance. We pushed up here. We couldn't maintain price levels above this 5.1 cent area. We're just going to call it 5 cents, okay? Just round it to 5. We could not maintain price levels around 5 cents. You can see once we broke below it, we can't get above it. We can't get above it, right? 5 cents is causing us an issue. We also have this descending area of resistance. So what's the story for Gala? Ultimately, what I want to see price levels maintain themselves in this zone between 3.2 and 3 cents. I do not want to start going lower than 3 cents on Gala. And furthermore, in terms of areas that are going to give us problems, I already have those identified. Our descending area of resistance, but ultimately 5 cents. Price needs to get above 5 cents with conviction and stay there, and ultimately push above 7 cents. Once we start pushing above 7 cents, then the next key area that I have identified on the chart, you can get more granular if you want, but I try to keep it stupid simple on this channel, After 7 cents, there's a major area at 12. When you see Gala begin to print and close days out, and especially weeks out, above 12 cents, fucking get ready. All right? A lot of these tokens, Gala, Quant, people forget about these projects. Casper, people get bored during price consolidation. They get bored. They lose track. They go on to the newest thing in crypto AI or whatever the case is, right? But all that's going on right now is just healthy consolidation. There's nothing surprising and there's nothing alarming within the chart. I hope you found that helpful. Let's see what else. What other questions does everyone have? I definitely have I have a few more minutes here. What else we got? Love Crypto Ryan, dude. He told me on Twitter about your YouTube. No, wait. Freaking love Crypto Ryan, dude. He told me on Twitter about your YouTube. So, Jordan, it's not clear to me if you're giving Crypto Ryan or I a compliment, but thank you either way. And Crypto Ryan definitely deserves some compliments because he has a very nice channel and works very hard to get content out, as does Encash. CBG is a legend. I'm not in true CBG form yet. If you don't know what true CBG form is, just wait until Bitcoin breaks $69,000 and you'll see me in true crypto bull god fashion. You'll be like, Christ, I don't know if this is funny or cringe or God, I don't know what is up with this guy. But I promise you, I'm actually very grounded and logical, as you can tell. There's just another side to me. There's another side that rarely comes out, but we need to wait for bullish momentum to pick up. Welcome in, Rashid. Uma, Kathleen, I won't even pull up the chart just because I've given several updates. I'll just kind of talk you through what's going on. Price, if it hasn't changed, it's around $1.92. I've been in this trade for a long time. No, we're at $1.88. Right? I've been in this trade for a long time. Uma's just consolidating around $2. The chart, in my opinion, is, I've talked to this thing so many times in the past. I've tweeted on it so many times. If I felt differently, I would be transparent with you. Okay, I'm always authentic and transparent with you. If I felt the trade still wasn't there, or excuse me, if I felt the trade wasn't there, I would exit and say such. Or, you know, maybe I've lost conviction in it and I've at least lowered the amount that I'm holding within that trade, but I haven't. I still think UMA is setting up for a large pop. I've spoken to the $4 to $5 area in particular, a quick doubling or 2.5x. But right now it's just been consolidating at $2. That's all it's been doing. So no material updates there. Gala did it. You're welcome. Some of my biggest plays during 2021. Man, nice. The Holy Crypto Trinity. Glad to hear that. GRT, I do hold me some Graph. Matic, nice. I hold Matic. I've spoken to that. The fact that I'm putting in a specified amount each week into Matic, and I'm staking it, and I don't plan on touching it for a very long time. Bitcoin every single day. Every single day I buy Bitcoin. That's like a supplemental retirement account. Oh, I just spoke to retirement. Supplemental financial independence account. No, it really is a retirement account. I'm putting Bitcoin away, locking it away, and not touching it. That's my plan on Bitcoin. Long-term hold, at least. And DAG, not familiar with DAG. Oh, man, I don't have time to chart all these. And Nick, I don't have. Let me think about which ones I want to chart. Yeah, I have to get back to the 9 to 5 soon. But let me see if anyone else has any other questions, and then I will take one of those and chart them. All the way from M786WP. First off, you're welcome, and I'm glad that you found the charting helpful on Gala. And secondly, let me just say, and this is the thing that I appreciate a lot about Twitter and YouTube and this social media outlet that it has provided me in my life, because I enjoy doing this stuff and live streaming and charting. But what I really love about the comment here, if you look at this comment by WP here, 786WP, first time that I'm catching the stream live all the way from South Africa. Fuck yeah. The thing that's beautiful about this, and I lose track of this sometimes, is the opportunity to educate and to share knowledge with everyone that's tuning in. it's not just in the United States. It's Australia, it's London, it's Ireland, it's South Africa. I've had people comment to me where they reside from, and I think it is the coolest thing that I get to interact with people all over the world. So I'm really glad that you're tuning in. That means a lot. It really does. Is it a while since you did a deep H-bar chart update, or I just missed it? I've spoken to it several times. Did Nick point that one out? I mean, there's not really anything to, I was going to point out a funny tweet the other day that we have our stable coins. I don't know why everyone's talking about all this volatility in crypto. Harmony One has become a stable coin at 2 cents. H-bar has become a stable coin at 6 cents. UMA has become a stable coin at $2. What was the other one I was going to check out? Oh, Chainlink has become a stablecoin at $7, and Flux has become a stablecoin at 60 cents. All right, so no updates on HBAR. I spoke to this HBAR, I think on Monday with like a weekly view, but nothing material. Man, I can never pronounce your name, and you've been one of my most loyal, consistent followers and subscribers, Terhe. I'm going to give you a nickname, a good nickname. I'm just going to call you TJ, because it's do you mind that if I just call you TJ? Because it's a lot easier for me. I'm not going to butcher your name. Like I don't mean any offense by it. You're one of my loyal supporters, and I can't pronounce your first name. Maybe I should just do Google and learn how to pronounce your first name, and that would be more polite. But if you don't mind, I'll call you TJ. If you don't mind, just be my little nickname for you. All right, so we're going to close things out by taking a look at Nick's comment here. So he threw out 4 charts: MANA, GRT, Matic, and DAG. Chart them if you have time. I think we can take a look at a couple. I can provide a quick update. I was just looking at GRT. So I redrew this, and the reason I redrew it is because originally I had this drawn like this. Well, that's become invalidated, right? We had a candle body close below the descending line. So as price begins to formulate and develop within the chart, as price action begins to continue to develop, we can reformulate our thoughts in terms of what the view is, right? In my opinion, you can see what I have drawn here. I mean, to me, this is clear as day, but let me point this out to you. This still, to me, looks like a pole, okay, and a pennant. There's just price consolidation going in here, right? I really want this 13.3 cents. I really want this to maintain itself, okay? But this is just some consolidation in here. In fact, if we look at the volume, this is textbook, guys. Typically what you see in a pennant, I believe I spoke to this on Casper. You see how there's a spike in volume right here, right at the top? And then what happens is, as we're consolidating in this ascending triangle pennant formation, you see how the volume dips off, right? It just becomes boring, okay? This is where people are like, I don't want to own the graph, okay? Full disclosure, I've said this. I own graph. I own a chunk in my retirement account, in my Bitcoin IRA account, and I own a little bit in my personal account now, but I own a chunk in my retirement account. Bought in at the 14 cent level, I believe. So anywho, this thing is consolidating, and what I've spoken to, now we have a descending area of resistance, right? Kind of spoken to this in past. You can see the descending resistance. Ultimately, what I'm looking for, though, I'm looking for a break up into this yellow box between 35 and 56 cents. Yes, an ultimate move from 13 all the way up to 35.56. That is how quick the markets move when they're moving. So I really want to see something along the lines of this. We break out from here, a back test, very common. This is resistance, going to turn into support, and then a move up into this area. That's really what I want to see over the handful of the next couple months here. That's what I want to see. So that's my update on the graph. Let's take a look at what's up, Jorge? Norway. That's awesome. TJ is from Norway. That's fucking awesome. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. What else did you, Nick? What were you? Oh, Matic. I can provide a quick update on that. I evaluate Matic pretty routinely. We don't have to take a long time evaluating the chart on this one. So Matic, this is a weekly view. This was to demonstrate we're creating higher highs and higher lows. I don't want people to get weeded out. Now, What I don't like to see, and I spoke to this, I did not want a weekly close below $1.05. And really $1 is a psychological level, right? I don't like that. I do not like that I have to take this green area of support and turn this into resistance, right? We made all this progress. We pushed up to $1.47. Now we're sitting at 90. Oh, we're right at $1, okay? So we've come down. I mean, we've come down like 45%, right? But even though I don't like the fact that we're closed below $1.05, the most important thing to keep in mind, this is the most relevant thing, if I can grab the damn thing, this is the most relevant thing on this chart. What is going on here? We're still creating higher lows, right? What we're waiting for is a break of $1.05, a break of $1.29, and actually, I'd put an area of resistance here. I just don't want to muddy the charts up too much and make it more noisy than it needs to be. Take out this $1.56 area, $1.57. But ultimately, I want to see a push above $1.74, right? What I want to see come in with Matic, I want to see that 75% move. That is what I want to see on Matic. Now, it's not going to happen in the span of more than likely a week, but that's going to come over the span of, maybe by June, just guesstimating. Maybe by June we can get up into this area. But don't lose sight. Just because we've lost $1.05, just because we're chipping and chopping, again, we have lower highs and we have higher highs, right? And we're waiting for this next higher high to come in at $1.74 and above. That's what I'm looking for there, Nick. Mr. BBC. Yes, Jorge has dubbed me BBC. Perhaps part of that nickname applies, but not all of it, clearly. Let's see here. I can neither confirm nor deny. But let's take a look at one more, because I'm not familiar with DAG, and I really am running out of time. I have to get back to work here. So one more chart. We're going to do one more chart together here. Hold my hand, if you so choose, as we cross the street here. It's not as scary as you think. I don't know what I'm saying. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me? Of course you need to listen to me. You're here tuning in. This is Mana. And as you can see, I need to reformulate this because it looks a lot different now. Now, I still see... Let me ask you guys a question. Wow, I was supposed to go out this evening, and now... I'm not one to go out and it's raining out. Why the hell do I want to go out to a... So the plan was I'm going out to a brand new tequila bar restaurant that just opened. I have this 3 p.m. meeting at work, which is wonderful. And but afterwards at 4... planning on heading out. Brand new tequila bar just opened up in the Pompano Beach area. Heading over there, and it's raining. So I don't know if that's happening. I don't really feel like going out in this shit. So hopefully it clears up. Say a prayer that it clears up. So I really was looking forward to going out. Let me ask you a question. What do you see on the chart of Mana? Can anyone? And there's a delay here if you drop a comment, right? But we'll see if your comments coincide with me. What would you point out in this chart? Like, what are your observations? Well, let me share with you. First observation is obvious. Descending resistance was broken here. We didn't even backtest. We didn't even come down. Expresses a lot of strength, right? But what else do you see? Well, I see two formations in this chart. I'm going to be curious if anybody else names this because, again, there's a lag. First off, I see a falling wedge. Okay? We got to turn this red. Red is resistance, all right? Falling wedge, but I also see a pennant. This is a bull flag. This is an absolute bull flag. In fact, the other way, a further confirmation, I know that this is a bull flag beyond the formation of it. The other thing, what have I said about bull flags? You get a peak in rise in volume in the pole, the top of the pole, which is this candlestick here, okay? But then as we start to enter the pennant, look at the volume go down. We're consolidating. I would expect a massive breakup in Mana when the rest of the market moves here. Nothing concerning in this chart. This thing is just consolidating with the rest of the market. At current price levels, again, never financial advice. I would view this as an awesome entry where we're sitting at 55 cents, all right? this to me is presenting an awesome opportunity to get in. Could we dip lower and come down to 49 cents or 48 cents? Absolutely we could. But again, based on this chart setup, based on where we're at historically relevant to all-time highs and based on where I see price going, this is a great setup. We've pulled back since this break up towards 84 cents. And again, the orange box is what I'm targeting. I'm ultimately targeting when we start to break up on mana, getting up into this zone here, which is between 86 and $1.64. Remember that, or $1.65. Remember that $1.65 is a key area. So what I really want to see is mana break up above $1, but I really want to see it get, I would say $1. So really what I would look for is mana to get up above $1, between $1, looks like a 67 actually. That's what I would look for on mana, but nothing surprising here, nothing out of the norm. We're in a bull pennant, we're in a falling wedge, setting up great for a consolidation and move to the upside with the rest of the market. That is all I got. So I appreciate everyone new who tuned in. Make sure to hit the thumbs up, drop me a comment. You got to click the bell icon for notifications when I go live. Typically on weekdays. Now I do these live streams every single weekday. Typically it is between 5 and 6 p.m., right? Eastern Standard Time. Today's time was a little bit different. That's why it's important to click the bell icon for notifications. Thank you for all of my current base as well of followers and supporters. I appreciate the engagement as always. I will be back here on Monday for what is a critical day. It's very important that you tune in Monday because we're going to be looking at that monthly April candlestick is going to tell us a lot. April's close will tell us a lot about what we can expect more than likely in the coming handful of several months here. So make sure you come back on Monday. Until next time, everybody, enjoy the weekend. Get out, do something active, get away from your computer, spread awareness, and carry the education forward. Take care.